Part of me needed to cool off after that Falcons and Cowboys game because I'm still a little mad about it. Anyway, what's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. The Atlanta Falcons are trying to get their season back on track after two disappointing losses to the Cowboys and the Seahawks, and things don't get a lot easier as they do face a good Chicago Bears team at home. Do the Falcons have a chance of winning this game? Let's just talk about that starting right now. Before we get started on our game preview versus the Chicago Bears, I should probably tell you how my game previews work here at Rise Up Rundown. First, we go over a summary to the matchup, which means I describe the story for both teams heading into the game. First, I describe the opponent's story and then the Falcons. After that, I go over what to watch out for from the opponent. So basically, it's me going over the opponent's biggest strength, and we have to prepare for that. Dan Quinn. Then I go over possible breakouts for the Falcons. It could mean I'm going over the opponent's biggest weakness, but what if the opponent is actually strong on, secondary or O-line? But it doesn't matter. This unit on the Falcons is going to be too strong for the opponent anyway, and they could break out. And then, last but not least, we go over keys to victory for the Falcons. Of course, it's me describing how the Falcons can win this game. So, let's get started with summary to the matchup for the Chicago Bears versus the Atlanta Falcons. For the Chicago Bears, they're off to a really good start. They currently sit 2-0, and I think they're actually somehow first in the NFC North, if I'm not mistaken. The Chicago Bears are off to a really good start. Their defense is not quite what it once was, but it's still a really good defense. Offensively, they're doing okay, and Mitch Trubisky has actually been pretty good. It seems like Nick Foles behind him, possibly taking his spot, has kind of somehow lit a fire under him, and he wants to play better, and he's been doing that. So you have to give the Bears credit for kind of turning things around here, and they, of course, are trying to get a win so they can win this division or at least go to the playoffs. As for the Atlanta Falcons, I don't even know where to begin. There's already really big concerns for this defense. I mean, it just seems like with Dan Quinn, this defense just cannot get things together. Dan Quinn is already on the hot seat. The offense can score points, so the Falcons really just need to turn things around this early in the season to not have Dan Quinn on the hot seat and make this defense elite, because they really need to turn things around. So let's get started with what to watch out for from the Chicago Bears. Actually, before I begin, I wanted to note that this is probably the most straightforward game preview I have ever had in my entire life. The Chicago Bears are the most well-balanced team I have ever studied. They are more well-balanced than the Seahawks and Cowboys. Believe it or not, I know it doesn't seem like it, but they are. They are really well-balanced on defense, and they're also pretty well-balanced on offense. But anyway, what do we need to watch out for? Can I just say, the whole entire defense? Come on, if you follow football, everyone knows the Bears have an elite defense. You have Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Roquan Smith, Kyle Fuller, Eddie Jackson. And if you want to read some statistics, they already have 5 sacks and 2 interceptions. And they actually have a +1 turnover ratio, somehow just below us. Yeah, that beats me. But come on, everyone knows Matt Nagy knows what he's going to do with this defense. Just end of story there. And then the other thing is they have a lot of offensive weapons. They know how to run the ball with David Montgomery. He's already got 146 yards. Watch out for Tariq Cohen as well. Then on the receiving game, Allen Robinson is kind of a slept-on, really good receiver here. I feel like he doesn't really get a lot of attention, but he is a good receiver. Jimmy Graham, definitely not who he once was, but you never know, maybe he could break out. And honestly, Mitch Trubisky has looked pretty solid for the most part. It seems like he's definitely trying to play for his career here, and you gotta give credit where it's due. He's been very, very good. This is just a very good team, man. There's just not one part of the team that's just a big question mark. But here are possible breakouts for the Falcons. I don't need to discuss this. The passing game, they just break out every single game. Even if the Bears have an elite secondary, whatever. Like, I mean, the Falcons just prove time and time again they're going to score points with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, even though he is a little bit questionable to play for this game. But I will admit, I was wrong about Calvin Ridley so far. He is looking really, really good. Hayden Hurst has looked good. Russell Gage, I mean, come on. Like, the passing game is going to break out. And I honestly can't really think of any other possible breakouts for the Falcons. I mean, the pass rush is going against a good Bears O-line. And Takk McKinley's actually out, which, believe it or not, I think is actually a problem for this pass rush. And then the secondary is just, they've been really bad. So the only possible breakout I can see for the Falcons is the passing game. But anyway, keys to victory for the Falcons, it's pretty straightforward. There are 3 things we have to do. 1, we have to keep scoring points. You know, as good as Trubisky has looked, the Bears offense hasn't really scored a lot of points. I'm not trying to insult the Bears. I'm just saying, you know, Trubisky hasn't been, you know, that good to score that many points. Now he's playing against the Falcons secondary, so he has a chance. But anyway, I mean, Trubisky, you know, he's been really good. I'm giving him credit where it's due, but he hasn't scored that many points. So if the Falcons just scored like 30 plus points, I think we should be okay. And then we also do have to lock down Trubisky, even if he is playing against the Falcons secondary. Secondary really needs to step up here because they are playing a good offense. And then you also need to slow down the run game. If the passing game for the Bears isn't going anywhere, the running game can get you somewhere. So it's just, you know, it's really straightforward. You have to stop the run game, lock down Trubisky. But I think the main thing you have to do here is you have to keep scoring points. I mean, this Bears offense, you know, as good as it has looked, they haven't scored that many points. So if the Falcons score that many points, we should be okay. But we'll see. Those are my takes on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you guys with a game preview a game recap, I meant, this Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. I love and appreciate you all for the support. As always, Res up.